Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's PTC Nordic Talks webinar, where we are honored today by having Vigram Raja from Tata Consulting Services for a session on sustainable manufacturing value chain powered by PTC and TCS. But first, a very quick introduction about myself. My name is Torbjörn Peterson, and I'm the Alliance Manager for PTC in the Nordics, and we are running these weekly webinars on Fridays, same time. We invite customers and partners for some inspiration on digital transformation to see what is possible and how to make things happen. And all the past webinars have also been recorded and are to be found on the registration site. And the agenda for today is first a very quick overview of PTC by my colleague Carl from the customer success team, and then Vigram will start by introducing himself, touch base on a few challenges, how to address these, and then explain some of the business outcomes. And at the end, we are also having a Q&A session, so please keep your questions to the end. So now over to you, Carl.
Thank you, Torbjörn. So PTC is an international software company with headquarters based in Boston. We're developing software mainly for manufacturing companies since 1985. We offer tools for the digital transformation, such as CAD for design, PLM for managing data, IoT to connect products or manufacturing operations, and augmented reality to visualize and interact with the digital thread. To you, Vigram.
Thank you. So, hello everyone. Very glad to be part of this Nordics Talks. I've been a big fan of this event, and I've been following very closely about what's happening in these events when it comes to the topics that they prominently discuss. And to keep up the standard, we also thought we should bring in some interesting thoughts around the sustainable manufacturing value chain, which is primarily enabled by TCS suite of solution, also leveraging by PTC products. A short intro about myself. I'm Vigram Raja. I'm based in Stockholm, primarily responsible for IoT and digital engineering, business development and growth for Nordics. I will get on to the topic today. And before that, a quick introduction about our company, Tata Consultancy Services. It's a very prominent name that you heard about Tata Group. TCS is part of Tata Group, which is India's largest multinational business group, present in all over country with different business entities, starting from making a salt to a software. That's what we claim as it is. And when it comes to TCS, it's a large global IT services and consulting company. We do have a presence across 21 countries, and we do have solution centers across all these countries, more than 180. And we have been fastest growing brand when it comes to IT services, and one of the top ranked when it comes to customer satisfaction in Europe. While TCS would have been seen more from the IT side of aspects, we also have a gamut of other offerings. One such offering which is very interesting in today's portfolio is IoT and digital engineering. And you could see TCS service portfolio in many aspects, starting from consulting, service integration, digital transformation services, cognitive business operations, and cloud. Here is where we work closely with our partners like PTC, Microsoft, or Rockwell. And the unit that I represent from TCS has broadly covers end-to-end spectrum of a product engineering and product development, starting from an intelligent product, how it gets designed, engineered, and when it comes to shop floor manufacturing scenario, how it is getting manufactured, that is connected plants. Then it goes to aftermarket, how it is being serviced, all the servitization aspect of services, including IoT. Then how it is all connected in the digital spine, that is digital thread. So we leverage partner solutions like PTC, where not only in the design, also in the manufacturing shop floor, also on the IoT side of things. I'm very glad that through this event, the TCS has been introduced to few more unknown parties, which they will come to know about TCS. And for today's topic, we have picked up a very interesting subject, sustainable manufacturing value chain. I can briefly touch upon what it is. Then I'm going to cover a very interesting case study that we have done, which is addressing the challenges that we see in sustainability and how TCS had helped a customer to mitigate it and provide a savings, which is very remarkable in the dollar figure. Sustainable manufacturing. TCS have been working with top leading manufacturing companies across globe. We bring in some proven solution levers which help them in net zero ESG compliance sort of aspects, starting from upstream operations and downstream level. And primarily when we talk to customers who are driving sustainability, their imperatives or goals are more towards net zero or net positivity, or bringing in energy reduction, bringing in a circular economy, starting from product end of life to from the design to the product end of life, or to a level the EHS compliance. And many customers today in Europe, they are talking about a renewable 100, and Sweden is one such country where the carbon tax is very high compared to any other country in the geographies. So things like that becomes a goals and imperative for any customers that we talk with. And interestingly, they come to TCS in different stages of the engagement. The one such stage is when they wanted to plan how do we collect the data from their value chain. That is the planning phase, where TCS helps in developing sustainability platform, bringing in digital solutions, enabling IoT-based real-time information gathering, which prominently helps in their ESG data enablement services. This is more on the planning phase. Then when it comes to the check or validation, I would say. So once the data is there, how do we validate it? Because the right data gives the right insights. So in order to make an actionable insights and complete visibility across the value chain, targeting scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 sort of emissions, how do we integrate the data? And TCS being prominent in IT services and engineering services, we bring in this element of integration and help customers to validate the data in the right way so that the sustainability KPIs are being met. And I'm moving on to a very other interesting perspective, that is de-risk. So this is what the TCS specialty is. While we could, as a engagement in IT services side, we could help them to do a planning and validation. The de-risk is a very important element where customer will really see a benefit on the ground. So these set of services helps them to de-risk and achieve their sustainability goals, starting from services like responsible sourcing or a sustainable sourcing, which is very prominent in Europe, energy management solution and consumable spend reduction. That is other important aspect where electricity and the energy is one of the highly seen crisis in today's scenario. And having process improvements through digital twins across the manufacturing value chain, then bringing in renewable transition for supply chain related aspects, then bringing in the sustainability products through value engineering. If you see all of this de-risk related services portfolio, there are quite a bit of knowledge that is needed to coach customers in order to arrive at this benefit. That is where the TCS consultants who are expertise in sustainability and certified in some of the parameters like EHS, GRI, CDP, what we call it as more like a global reporting initiative, or it would be the carbon disclosure project related standards. All of this is one of other prominent skill set that our consultants bring to the table. And interestingly, TCS could also collate and bring all this experience under a gamut of solutions. We call it as TCS suite of solutions, starting from EnviraZone. This is a very key offering where it is an AI-based engine, which is also connected to a larger databases, which are geolocation specific, which can collate location specific information about what is the supplier credit level at a particular instance, or what would be the proximity of suppliers being in producing better sustainable products and things like that. And TCS Clever Energy is one prominent solution that we see very much traction in Europe, Because of the reason, this brings in the energy management aspect through AI ML approach. And interestingly, this solution addresses the OpEx part of thing, and we bring in what we could do from their existing landscape, not introducing anything new to the whole investment. Then InTwin kind of solutions enable to develop digital twins on top of solutions that PTC brings in or Microsoft brings in. And eventually, this is more like an AI ML model, which helps customer to identify the or design the whole process using this InTwin methods. And here we could show benefits to customers. Some are interested, say, for instance, in automotive sector. One of our customer wanted to see from the performance testing side, what could be the fuel consumption savings that they can bring in and how to make it more sustainable in order to achieve the sustainability KPI. So such sort of digital twins have been developed. And for some of our customers here in Nordics, we could develop a complete logistics network twin, which helps them to see where they are missing and where they are really has to improvise, not only from a sustainability side, also from the process improvement side. And moving on, solutions like DigiFleet, which is a fleet management solution, which also brings in traceability of an asset or a traceability of a shipment, and also enables companies to plug and play with different carriers today they work with. So this brings a complete awareness, or I would say visibility of their supply chain and logistics related touch points that they have in their value chain. And even with some of our customers, the same solution is leveraged for transitioning their renewable transitioning towards RE100. What it means is like if they willing to move all their typical fuel-based fleets to EV-based fleets, how effectively that could be transitioned. So DigiFleet also gives a governance model to do so. And moving on, some of the net zero related aspects coming from InfraZone. And the interesting product that at last I just want to cover is iClosed Loop, which covers the gamut of all 5R that are involved in the circular economy for a product. So as we see, we measure 55 KPIs for a product maturity end-to-end life cycle. And this sort of iClosed Loop sort of AI-based solution captures every single touch points that are involved, that are being measured for 5R realization. So this is overall what we do more on the sustainability related aspects. And sustainable manufacturing value chain involves starting from sourcing to design to manufacturing to distribution to even product end of life. So these solutions have overlap between all of this across the value chain. And in today's case, we would like to take you through a very interesting case study where it talks about the responsible sourcing. Okay, this is a case study for a leading auto major in Europe. They are prominently in passenger segment, and they came back with an objective that they wanted to localize some of their premium segment cars to a targeted market. And their interest is we have to help them to fast track the time to market. We have to help them to come down with the product cost since they are going into a new market. What should be the strategy plan, all of it, and with the local knowledge and local intelligence. And definitely they wanted to be a leader in sustainable related goals. So their emphasis was also sustainability. So here TCS has been involved in a strategic manner where a group of 100+ consultants have been onboarded to help them in order to bring a sustainable sourcing as a key lever in their whole program. So if you could see on the right hand side, this is for this comprises a lot of car components, passenger car segment components, starting from fuel system to seating, cockpit, drive lines, steering systems, everything. We would say from a whole car to a nut and bolt of the system has been completely analyzed in this context. Here, TCS has done a very interesting activity where we had analyzed complete set of requirements what customer had, which means what product they want to launch in the market, and how that product will go into identifying the right suppliers for sourcing the components, and what sort of design recommendations that can be done in order to make it more sustainable and most and cost efficient, and what sort of manufacturing setups and principles that they can adapt in the local geography, which could help them to move faster. That covers the time to market, and primarily the cost is a driving factor. Along with the cost, we also measured some 55 KPIs, which triggers the whole product life cycle, starting from design to the end of life. So TCS has a unique framework, the value discovery approach, where we analyzed or we assessed the supplier market, the component manufacturing feasibility, the quotes that we could get it from different suppliers, the competition analysis, who could be the best supplier for this need, meeting every single demand that we had, starting from cost to sustainability, and also helping customer to come up with a business case to move forward. So in the initial phase, it was a value discovery exercise done by TCS, and which helped the customer to move forward to a next level. What would be the tear down and the benchmarking and the cost estimate that they can come up with for that particular product. In this, TCS has brought in the know-how of local geography, and we have more than 500 plus sourcing consultants with specialization also in sustainable sourcing. So they could get onboarded and assess the complete value chain or the product BOM, not only from a technical cost perspective, also from the sustainable or responsible sourcing perspective. So this has given them a confidence. Okay, this would be the approach, and together we could set up a target cost and target KPI for sustainability. And we had taken this journey further to release the RFQs to individual suppliers, get them involved in the commercial evaluation. Even we got involved in the design scale optimization and cost synthesis, and to a level of cost negotiation, and also validating individual suppliers from all 4 aspects of responsible sourcing, that is ethical, environmental, and economical based perspective. So all 3 or 4 aspects have been validated, and towards the end of 3rd phase, we could submit a report which comprises of the suppliers to be onboarded, the product design to be concurred for manufacturing, and also complete supply chain process that need to adapt for industrialization. So this piece of work has given customer a benefit of up to 40% in their product cost launch. So obviously we would have a question on what this 40% means and where it is coming from. So it comes from various category. Definitely from the component cost reduction is one primary saving, and value analysis, value engineering based approach is the another main lever where we could reduce the cost and bring down the overall product cost of launch to a market. And interestingly, in this case, compared to what product they had for another market to this market, the sustainability goals have been already up to the level of their what they have targeted for 2025. So we could give all in one sort of a services benefit through this engagement. And this is one such example, while you could see other examples that I have stated, like leading aerospace OEM, where we could give a similar services benefit up to 30%, or Japanese car passenger segment up to 30%, and industrial machinery majors, there also we could give up to 30% of savings in the product cost. And we are taking a due consideration of responsible sourcing into every touch point or every single activity involved in this project. And that is where we leverage some of our partner tools like Creo, Windchill, and some of the TCS built-in accelerators and best practices to do so. And if you have a question, what gives a difference of sustainable sourcing versus responsible sourcing? Responsible sourcing covers every aspect of social, ethical, economical, environmental, EHS, everything together. This covers more than, as I stated, 55 plus KPIs that are involved in this. On top of it, sustainable sourcing is all about improving the whole environment and the life of people and health of the planet. So with due consideration, we are approaching every single project when it comes to sourcing in the way of responsible sourcing. This is one small subset. And interestingly, this particular project has yielded good result, and it directly contributes their the scope 1 sort of emissions that they create in the value chain. I would close my presentation here, and I'm open to take questions from your side, please.
Thanks a lot, Vigram, for the great overview of this very hot topic. So as you said, I mean, now over to the Q&A session and any questions you might have in the audience. So please go ahead. Who would like to go first? Otherwise, I could go first with one question, and I'm quite curious about, I mean, what are the biggest challenges, I mean, that you experience on, I mean, changing the mindset and the culture of people and organizations to really get started with any kind of, I mean, sustainability project?
Absolutely, it is definitely, it brings in the combination of organizational change management perspective, Torbjörn, also the lack of data points that they have, because many are really intended to do this. Many of our clients really wanted to do some responsible sourcing, while cost is one main factor. And they come to companies like us to see what other data points that we can additionally bring in from the local knowledge, local database, which can help them in their sustainability KPI as well. So one is definitely organizational change. Second is the data points that they want to bring in. And third, the domain experience, which we bring in. We have been working in this field for last 4 decades. And we do have our group company who is also having similar challenges. So we bring in all those synergies to help our customers here. Very good question.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else in the audience?
Yeah, I had a question, Torbjörn, to Vigram. Thank you for the presentation. I'm a PhD student here at Chalmers University in Gothenburg, Sweden. And my question, thank you. And my question to you was, you spoke about in some slides before about sustainability platforms. Could you elaborate on that, what you meant? Or were they those different suite of solutions? Is it the same thing or?
Okay, so I can give a bit of a detail about it. So we have a collective experience of dealing different customer challenges at a different maturity level. Some customers come to us more on a platform to onboard the data coming from different source systems and come up with a KPI dashboard view, right? In such angles, it is more like a digital dashboard platform that we built as a bespoke. That is one set of services that we do. When you talk about InviraZone, it's a suite of multiple solutions starting from Ozone. Ozone is a very unique solution developed for food industry, where if we have the database connected to this Ozone of all farmers and the fields for any geolocation in the world, which can help you to assess the sustainability KPIs that are needed to be considered to make that food safe for the whole process. So this gives any company, say for instance, we are working with the largest food major in Europe, and we are developing a sustainability data platform for them. And the platform that we developed is the first of the kind, which was authorized by auditors to be considered as a sustainability platform. That was one level of experience. When it comes to Ozone, this gives the database information with AI engine on top of it to pick up for any given geolocation. You can pick in the globe. We would be able to give you exact details about what would be the the content of different materials or different compositions that are involved in that particular soil, which might impact the food behavior over in the process of the value chain. So that was one on Ozone. Coming to net zero is more a very unique solution designed for logistics and supply chain, where it is also an AI and IoT driven platform, where we could able to collect the complete information about about the transport involved in this, also the touch points that make the whole ecosystem to be net zero. Here, some of the KPIs like tank to wheel, wheel to tank, all those different KPIs are already inbuilt as a calculator within this net zero platform. And the last one is iClosed loop. This is more to do with sustainable packaging. Interestingly, packaging becomes a very critical part in today's retail and CPG world or consumer segment. So this particular iClosed loop help customers to choose the right primary, secondary, tertiary packaging involved in it. What would be the composition that are involved, and what parameters should be fine-tuned to make it much more less impact towards environmental KPIs. So these things are implemented cases. This comes with our experience, and we thought we will also offer this as an accelerators to many companies which are in need of it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vigram.
Thank you very much for that question.
Good question. Anyone else? Please go ahead. I'm having an open question, and that is also based on, your experience, Vigram. How far do you think, manufacturing companies in general are in EMEA on their sustainability journey?
The importance of sustainability is at a board level today, and this has become already a board level discussion. It's no longer a office room discussion. So interestingly, we have done engagements with customer to create or present something to the board. And we are also involved in consortiums where to bring up different vendors, because we are working with, for someone, scope 1 or scope 3 is other scope 1, right? So we as a partner, Torbjörn, PTC or TCS for that matter, we work with the complete ecosystem players. So here is where we are bringing that sort of experience level to them. And definitely customers are willing to take our advice on this. And there is no one particular success formula towards this, as we are seeing advancement of technologies coming on, and they need to catch up on one side, other side they need to make it more sustainable for their business value chain. So definitely this is seen at a very high interest, and even the top auto companies that we are working today in Nordics or in Europe, they have a high interest to discuss and really invest on this particular topic.
Right, thanks. I had a follow-up question on that, actually. You touched base a little bit about the ecosystem. And do you think that, most of the organizations are, open to and, willing to, utilizing, the full power of the ecosystem?
Definitely, yes. And many customers already started reaching out to us in that line to ask us, how do we join force to achieve a common mission? So one of the company who is highly into compressor manufacturing, they are asking us, how do we collaborate with a steel company where they make a carbon friendly, or I would say environment friendly steel for their product. So while we are working on one side, we could also bring the data element or data perspective on the other side to bridge that gap. And more partners or companies like us would play a major role to bridge the gap that we see in today's, I would say, market.
Thanks a lot. Anyone else having a last question here before we have to close, or how are we? Right. Okay, thanks everyone, and thank you, Vigram, for a fantastic presentation, and thanks to everyone else for listening into this Nordic Talks, and hope to see you also next week, and have a really good weekend, everyone.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Nice meeting you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.